Hi, and welcome to Community Hotline. My name is Monica Weitzel, and we're here in Gresham at MetroEast Community Media. Thanks for joining us tonight. We have a full show, and we're going to start off talking with an established nonprofit in the area, and we're going to hear from someone who's been a part of it a long time. We're talking with the Gresham Lions Supper Club, and here to represent them is Stephen Butler. Thanks for being here, Stephen.
Thanks for having me, Monica.
And it's really interesting to have you here sitting across from me because you are one of the volunteers here at MetroEast also, and often have been on the other side of the camera for me. So how nice to have you representing the Lions Club.
And how nice to be sitting down for a change.
I'm sure, instead of standing up behind the camera. So tell me about the Lions Club. It has been around for a long time, and you've been involved for a long time.
Actually, this is the centennial year for Lions. This is 100 years this year. And Lions originally started as a businessmen's group.
Okay.
They were basically trying to promote their own groups.
Kind of like a little chamber of commerce or something.
Yeah,
huh?
trying to network, basically.
Yeah.
100 years ago.
Before people called it networking.
Absolutely, before they even knew what it was. And then they grew, and then finally one day Helen Keller approached them at one of their conventions, and she challenged them. She said, "I challenge you to be the Knights for the Blind."
Really? I've never heard this story.
And so from that day forward, their primary mission has been just that, serving the needs of the blind. Everything from helping with their initial guide dogs, glasses, they pay for surgeries, they do screenings.
That's pretty impressive. I think most people know about the glasses collection that you can, if you have old glasses, you can donate them.
Yes.
But it goes way beyond that, doesn't it?
It goes way beyond that.
Yeah.
A classic example I can tell you firsthand. When I was in Texas, there was a young woman that I had encountered, and she was blind. And I finally got to talking to her and said, well, what caused your blindness? And it ends up, it's cataracts. Well, I hate to tell you this, cataracts are a one-day in and out surgical procedure.
That's a really common, easy.
But she had no insurance. She had no medical insurance. She had no means of covering the cost.
Oh, no.
She didn't even have the opportunity to see a doctor. She was just blind because she had cataracts in both eyes. I connected her with the Lions Club in her area, and Lions connected her with the clinics and the doctors. They paid for her surgeries. And the next thing you know, this is a very vibrant woman with her sight back, her vision.
Wow.
And that's what Lions do.
You give her life back to her, really. I mean, that's, not that you don't have a life when you're blind, but come on, that's a huge thing.
Well,
to have it and lose it and get it back again?
That's right. And you can lose your sight. Anybody can.
Yeah.
You can lose your sight at any time. Thankfully, you have to give up your vision. And so even when you lose your sight, you can still maintain your vision. And Lions, we're here to help with that, to help you keep your vision. You'd be surprised how many little 5-year-olds people don't realize they have a potential illness which will cause blindness. But because of the screenings that we do at no charge in the schools, we catch that and we can help prevent blindness in that child. Or a little bit later, we're probably going to look at a video we brought with us that talks about a young man who wasn't blind, but he was what we call low vision. He had functioning vision, but it wasn't enough to actually do anything with.
Well, maybe we should take a look at that, because that may give people a really good idea of how the Lions help people with vision problems.
That's awesome.
Okay, let's go ahead and roll that video now.
10-year-old Dylan Ferguson has worn eyeglasses since he was 6 months old. But as he grew, it was clear glasses weren't enough.
He was acting up. He wouldn't really learn, and we had to repeat kindergarten again until we got everything figured out.
It has an arm.
Roughly 85% of what a child learns comes from vision, which is why early intervention is important. For the Fergusons, living in rural Kansas made it more of a challenge to get Dylan the help he needed.
Kansas is a very rural state, and it's very hard to provide the kinds of low vision services that students in our state need.
For years, Dylan's family traveled great distances, searching out doctors and answers. Eventually, they learned he had low vision.
A low vision exam, we hardly ever see 20/20. The best we may get is 20/50 or 2100. We're trying to get functional vision, vision that's usable for that child through some type of device.
C-V-K D.
With Campaign Sight First 2 funds, LCIF is expanding its support of low vision programs around the world.
Low vision is an underserved area. There are a lot of students struggling, so identification of their low vision needs is the first step to getting them help.
And you push that button right there.
A Sight First grant helped U.S. Lions in Kansas expand the Can Love Kids program that Dylan participates in. The free program provides low vision evaluations and services.
And he put an arrow to the bow.
The biggest impact of the grant, Lions have been able to establish 10 regional centers across the state. By purchasing new equipment and providing additional training for low vision specialists, more children are being helped.
The LCIF Sight First grant has been a godsend. Prior to the grant, children would have to wait 3, sometimes 4 years before I would get a chance to see them and work with them.
LCIF also provided assistive devices. They are part of a lending library available at the 10 centers that students can use to determine what works best for them in various situations.
Low vision does not go away. What does change is the need for the individual to do different things. What you need at 3 years old is not the same in 5th grade or college. At each of those milestones, you need different tools to be successful.
A tiny brushing zone.
18-year-old Joshua Harsh is attending college. ZoomText software that he discovered at one of the centers made it possible.
Before I came here, I was basically just struggling along. As soon as I came here, I was shocked, literally, because there was so much opportunities, and I was actually very, very happy for once.
It takes a team of low vision specialists, parents, teachers, and Lions all working together to address each child's needs.
We are really grateful. We can see more and do more, and now we got him from getting bad grades to getting really good grades.
It's literally changed his life forever.
Thank you, LCIF.
Kind of puts a little lump in your throat, doesn't it?
It puts a great deal of joy in your heart, too,
Yeah.
to be able to help. And they're helping in our community. Right here in Gresham, we have 2 outstanding clubs, and we have an empty seat in each one of them.
So so you're looking for new members? Huh?
We are. All you have to do is go to greshamlions.com.
Okay. Now tell me what are some of the things they do? There's the glasses collection, but tell me what else.
There's glasses collection. We build schools in distressed countries. We have emergency and disaster response. If there's a disaster, your Lions are there. We do local needs. There's a thing that they say, where there's a need, there's a Lion. And in the Gresham area, we have a pretty good homeless problem. Mm. Your Lions Club's here, through the generous support of a lot of different people in the city, we provide jackets for the children that need them. We help with clothing for schools. We sponsor families at Christmas.
So you're very much involved in the community.
We are. Yeah. Lions are the community, and the community are Lions. And so we look for the needs that affect our people, our community, and we help to meet those. Like, for example, we're doing the notary service.
Yeah, now tell me about that. So I understand this is something that's happening at the Gresham Public Library?
It is. On February 10th from 1 to 4, we're doing free notary services or no-cost notary services for senior citizens and for individuals that have been impacted by the economy.
And why are you doing this? What prompted this?
We saw a need. For example, if you're homeless and you're trying to register your children in school, oftentimes they require notarized statements that, in fact, that you are homeless, and that's why you can take them to that school. And by the time you have 4 signatures on a document that get notarized and you're paying $40, if you're homeless and you're living in your car,
who's got an extra $40 for that?
That's a week's worth of meals for them, and not to mention the gas that it takes to stay warm. So through the really wonderful support of the Lions, particularly in this particular instance, it's the Gresham Lions Supper Club.
Okay.
And along with the Whole Park Retreat and Center for the Blind. Whole Park is the camp out in Sandy that's there for a blind retreat for children.
Oh,
they do teachings and all things. But through the gracious support of both of those organizations, we're providing that notary service at the library. Again, that's on February 10th, and that's from 1 to 4. And we hope to make this an ongoing monthly monthly service because the need is there.
Service.
Yeah, even for the seniors. Sometimes it's hard to get around. It's hard to understand. We have a particular adaptive device there for the low vision. So if a senior's bringing a document in and says, I need to have this notarized, but I really want to see what it says, we can blow it up till it's the size of the room and let them see it.
Some of those legal documents, those are really tough to read.
They are.
Even for people with, pretty decent vision.
And you may be looking at somebody and think that they can see perfectly clear, but you may be talking to a blind individual and not even know it.
You may be. I know my sister is legally blind. I didn't know it for a long time. I just thought, she had really strong glasses, but I didn't realize that. And you, Stephen, know something about that, don't you?
I do. I am, as you've indicated before, I'm one of your cameramen here, but very few people know that I'm blind.
Which is kind of amazing that you're running camera, but you were able to do it, and you do a great job for us.
But like I said earlier, they can take your sight, but they can't take your vision. And we're here to work together. And there are things we can do, and there are limitations. But by working together with individuals and working with Lions, we overcome those obstacles. And we don't let blindness dictate what we are. We dictate to our blindness what we will be.
You, Stephen, are very much an example of that because you've lived a very full and interesting life, I have to say. Just some of your background I find very fascinating. But even now, you're part of the Gresham Planning Commission, correct?
I am, yes.
And involved in the Lions Club and probably a whole bunch of other things. You volunteer here. So obviously, the sight problem hasn't been keeping you down at all.
Not a bit.
Explain to people who are maybe wondering how you would be able to operate a camera with being legally blind.
In my particular blindness, it's really very unique because I have no vision at all, no light perception at all on the left side. It's as if there was a big pirate's patch, which would be kind of cool to wear once in a while, probably.
I wouldn't be surprised to see you in it either.
But on my right eye, I have 5 degrees of vision up in the upper corner. So the best way I can tell people is if you took one of those plastic stir sticks that you get for coffee and look through that, that's what I see. It's very clear, like I can read, but I read one letter at a time.
And so when you're looking through a camera, if it's a very
The camera brings in that depth, that range of vision, it condenses it, and so it actually enhances what I see. I see more looking through the camera than I do if I'm sitting here looking at you.
Which is why you do such a great job for us.
And it's why it's so much fun. I'm actually able to say, I'm blind, but I can still do that.
And I love that. I love that. So tell me, we only have a few minutes left, but if people are interested in becoming part of the Gresham Lions, or if they want to just check it out, can people go to one of their meetings and
absolutely.
Just visit?
We would love to have people come out and visit. They would be very welcome. Chances are, and I'll be honest, by the time you see what we do and what we're like, you probably want to be one of us.
Yeah.
And we want you to be one of us. And it's really easy to... You're part of Gresham, and you're looking at Lions. Just remember, GreshamLions.com.
That's an easy one.
It's an easy one to do, GreshamLions.com, and that's going to be a nice portal to get you into our Gresham Breakfast Club or the Gresham Supper Club. And it's nice.
If you're a morning person or an evening person, either one, there's something for you.
I couldn't make the Breakfast Club if I had to.
But you'd be fine. You're a regular at the Supper Club.
Oh,
right?
yes.
So somebody could see you there, and they could, go find out about all the things that you're doing. So before I run out of time, what's the best thing that you have gotten out of being a Gresham Lions?
The best thing that I've gotten out of it is actually watching the joy on the people's faces and seeing the thousands and thousands of pairs of glasses that go into countries where they can't even, it's a luxury to be able to see. We take it for granted.
Yeah.
And to know that there are so many thousands of children that aren't going to get measles because the Lions Club takes care of that. And just to know that we make a difference.
And you do. You obviously make a great difference. Well, thank you for all your dedication and as part of the club, and also to the rest of them. So I'll be checking out one of your meetings soon.
I'm looking forward to having you there.
Thanks very much.
And don't forget, I'm behind the camera, so I'll be checking on you to make sure.
Okay, good enough. Thanks. Thanks very much for watching this first segment of Community Hotline. And don't go away. We'll be right back with more.
You know, I used to think Lions Club was all about just meetings and eye tests and that sort of thing. This demonstrates that you guys are big and you're out there, you're willing to help.
It's really sad, but we have to help. It's our goal.
We are often first to respond.
食料、水、医療、そして避難所を提供し、
We're Lions.
What local community media is to us is literally our lifeline to what's going on in the lives around us.
The absolute most important thing that happens in your neighborhood.
People's local communities are usually what's most important to them.
Because we're the faces, the smiles, the peoples, and the personalities of the community.
To not only give people a voice, but to have their voice heard.